Hello, hello, everybody. um, I did my last live was in French to witness about an experience I had recently. Very, very, very interesting. And I think it was really like to validate. You know, when we receive messages and we think it's stupid and we don't listen to them, and so it's rare that I am like that, but it was really a weird situation because it was last Sunday, not this one, the one before, and I prepared everything to go to meet the artisan who is doing my bracelet in LA, in downtown LA. And it was so many months I postponed, and I said, okay, now I have a little bit of money. I'm gonna make some more because I have people who would love to buy them, but I cannot finance everything. So I said, okay. So I prepared my mold because I keep the mold. I prepared the prototypes that I have. I prepared some silver that I don't wear to maybe help to have some more silver because silver became very expensive. It's going down since a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, but it was very expensive all these last months. So I could not even finance that. And so I was ready, everything in my basket, everything prepared. I called the artisan. I had appointment around noon in LA. I was happy. I was so excited about that. And the Monday morning, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could not sleep, too much energy. And the first thing I felt, and this is very important, I noticed that the things that come to my mind or the idea or what I feel when I wake up, it's really messages that I receive. And the first thing that came to my mind was not really pleasant to me because it was like a weird feeling, not a good feeling, about going in the city. So I start to mentalize about that. And I say, oh, it's because you are too lazy. You don't want to drive. You don't want to go in the city. It's 1 hour and a half drive. And I was like, shut up to this voice. And in the same time I had this dialogue inside, I had a vision of the Highway 10, going towards the city, and that special connection on the highway, and came to my mind accident. So I continue to say, really, you stop telling you tales like that because you found a pretext to don't go in the city. But in the same time, I was like feeling weird here about that. And the other voice told me, and if you really were going to be in an accident. But I said, no, you have your appointment, you're going to go. You will see in some hours, you will feel better. I started to convince myself. And I was working on my computer in my bed. So I was writing, I was reading, and at around 8 o'clock, I started to feel really tired. I said, okay, I'm going to sleep a little bit, like 1 hour. And at the moment I was going to close my computer, I received a message, an email from my bank online. And stupidly, I clicked on. And here it has been very fast. So I was in a weird state, like you want to go to sleep. And I did not thought 1 minute, 1 second to check the email that sent. And it was like a phishing email, and I've been hacked. And things has been very, very fast. I received, before even receiving the logging that was in France, And I was like, before that, I received a transaction of $3,300. And it has been so fast. And I was like, so I was still able to be on my account. And I received after that, the email we receive when someone wants to log in from somewhere else. I clicked on the link like it was not me, thinking everything will be blocked. But in fact, it was not working. And I received, so I was on my bank account, and I had some money left, and I transferred the money on my main bank account. And I was able to do the transfer. And when I did that, I had also a part, if it's in euro, I transfer a certain amount and I let a little amount in euro because I didn't want to do the calculation and everything. And another transaction in euro. And from another, the first one was for Vietnam. The second was from, I think it was Belgium or north of France. And I'm there, and I receive also a message for this transaction, but also a message from the bank directly about the email address change of email address that I've not done. So I clicked again like it was not me. But I went in the setting and I saw that the email has been changed by the hacker. So I was in that, and I was amazed I could do the transaction on my bank account. So I felt like secure about that. But in another thing, I lost some money. I was like, I cannot believe I've been so stupid, and I was in that thing. But in the same time, it was something inside of me who was like watching all the scene and connecting and like knowing that everything was in perfect order. It's really weird to say that. But after, in the same time, I went online, I checked what I could. I did a declaration and even I called my son and I said, this is what happened. I sent him the email of the transaction, and he said, you don't see, this is the email that I clicked on, and he said, it's a phishing email, you see it from far. I said, yeah, but I was like in that other state, and I was like not really there with my mind, So I'm with all these things, and I tried to contact Wise, because it's wise.com, and it was Columbus Day, so holiday, so no answer. I contact in London because they are based there, and it was too late because it was evening. So I was like a little bit pissed off because you cannot even contact them. So I was like, And finally, I made a declaration at the police. I did all what I could do. But it was always this thing that came to my mind. Why? At first, I could not see this transaction on my list of transactions. Impossible to see it. It was invisible. And I was thinking, why they did not took everything in one time? Why only 3,300? 33. And when I was thinking of that, I say, wow, 33, for me, as I work with symbols, it is a symbol of the ascension of Christ, of Jesus, who became Christ. So it's a symbol of ascension, it's a symbol of elevation, because from the three-dimensional body of Jesus, he ascended on the 3 days, and he did the ascension, on the cross as human, and 3 days after, there is a resurrection in another dimension. So, and for me, it's the ascension, it's the elevation. So it was like something inside of me was observing this process inside of me. Like, I lost something at the physical level, but something was happening on the spiritual level. And I was connecting that, and I say, why 33? 33, why? It could take, it was like, almost the double, it could take everything. And why it's invisible. And after, when I've been in touch with Wise, the day after they contacted me, and they've been really amazing, really present and all, I was like, I asked them, why do you see the transaction? And they say, yeah, but I say, why it's invisible in the list of transactions? And this was like, I was, thinking of that. That same day, on Monday, so the evening, I met one of my followers and friends since several years from Singapore, was in Malibu. So I went and I had dinner with her at her place. And when I took my car at 6 o'clock in the evening to go and meet her, suddenly, because in the afternoon came to my mind, and maybe it's tale that I come to me, I said, it came to my mind that it was maybe a protection. And it came to my mind, if it's a protection, you will get back your money. And it was like me observing myself having these reflections. In fact, it was the higher self was really connecting from the 5D, that is, spiritual dimension, to the physical, my physical dimension. And it was this dialogue like that. And the evening, when I took the car, suddenly I got the message, I can say, yes, you've been protected. I remember my first feeling. And it's for that, it's very important to be in touch with what we feel first. What we feel first is right. And I had the validation 2 days after. So I remember my first feeling of not feeling good at the idea to go in the city. And after of that message coming, accident, and seeing the highway at a certain place, not seeing an accident, but coming to my mind. And when I took my car, this came back. And I say, wow, there are chances I've been protected. And how in the afternoon I said, if I'm protected, I will get back my money. I was letting do the universe. I was like surrounding, and it was really interesting because I had no regrets. I was not pissed off against myself to have done that click on this email, because it was like I had the feeling it was not by chance, but without knowing what's going to happen in the next days, So the evening, we had an amazing evening, and we have projects, and the day after, I've been in touch with Wise almost all day, exchanges email and connection and by the phone. And I suggested them some ways to secure, because when we see that there is a logging somewhere else, we should be able to secure, to be able to stop. When we click on the link, it should stop. And after, again, with the change of email address, I told them, I don't understand. Immediately I click, it was not me. Why everything has not been stopped? But maybe everything has been stopped. And they told me, but don't worry, we're going to get back the money on your account. And there I say, wow. So this means that I've been protected. Because it's what I said the day before. I say, if it's a protection, I'm going to get back the money. And up to there, I was like, so this means that what happened there came after my thing saying, no, you are crazy, it's because you don't want to go, you are lazy, you don't want to go to the city, blah, 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 blah. I was so in that and ready to go to the city that in fact, it's like my higher self by the universe, sent me something else, like this hacking, to oblige me to stay at home because I could not go there. I don't have the money to pay the artisan. So I called him, I said, I cannot come because this what happened and I don't have my mind free to come. And I was busy with all this explanation online and all this declaration, so I could not go in the city. So in a way, I was protected. And to think the afternoon, if you are protected, you're going to get the money back. But to that point, I still not connect the dot. And they told me that. And the evening, I say, yes, now I know. Yes, I've been protected. The transaction is invisible because it's from the invisible. It's from the spiritual realm. And 33 because protection is from the Christ energy. And because this is the first thing that, attracted me. I say, wow, 33. And why not everything? Why they have not taken it? See, if they took everything, I will never think about that. I will maybe not notice about this invisible transaction of this 33 number. I will not connect with what is speaking to me as symbol because I work with symbols and numbers. And but I connect all that. 33, invisible transaction. I got back my money. Sure, I've been protected. But I didn't know what's going to happen the day after. So it's like, it's really unbelievable. So the day after, I wake up and I was not feeling good at all. I had, headache that is rare. And when I had that, I go back just straight to under the cold shower. And I was feeling really weird. And I take my shower, but I was feeling very, very bad. I was, in fact, usually I'm not cold when I have a cold shower, but I was on my, standby home that I am doing the morning reading my emails. And I was so cold. I had a sweatshirt, I had my yak sweater, I have a cardigan in cashmere, a scarf, and I was still freezing cold and like almost fainting. So I went to take a hot bath and I sent a message to my friend Bernard, bioenergetician in France. And I say, I really don't feel good. I don't know what it is. I was not scared. I knew that maybe all what was going on with all these things was unlocking and changing something in my cell connection, in my chemical balance, because when it's like that, there are a lot of things that are touched. We don't even know about the cell memory that can be from this dimension or another one, because everything is like interactive. So I was like not taking this like it's terrible what is going on, but I don't know what is going on. So he tested me and he said, you are centered, but there is something at the energetic level that is not right. So we can do a session now if you want. So we did the session. I lie down and he called me 20 minutes after I did the session at distance. And when he did the session, I rarely feel things, but that time I felt. I'm working, as you know, on this breathing with the perineum and about this little incontinence thing that I started to work on since many months. And in fact, I felt like an expansion during the session of my coccyx, like expanding and very warm. And after I had a kind of tingling at the urethra area. And as I was working with the chiropractor Jim the week before, we worked on this scar of the episiotomy that when I had that when I gave birth. It's the same area, but this is more in front. It's not like the back of the perineum. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's working on that. And in fact, he did the session and I was feeling great. After I've been less cold and everything was flowing again. And I told him after the session, I told him my story, what happened with this hacking and all that. And I say, it's really weird because it was like a very bad feeling when I wake up. And I was like mentalizing and say, no, it's because you don't want to go. And finally, I could not go because this happened. And I was obliged to stay at home. So I explained to him the whole story. And I say, and I thought that maybe it came to my mind that maybe I've been protected from an accident on the highway. He said, we can test if you want. I said, okay, if it's want to answer, yeah, I'm curious, So he tested with his antenna at distance, and he came back and he said, you could have been in an accident on the highway. And I told him, you see, as I was not listening, and it was not only to protect me, but it was also to make even more aware, to make me be more aware of when I have a bad feeling, to don't find a pretext that it was like, it's because you are lazy. The bad feeling was right. Because my higher self was sending me, I was feeling, in fact, it's at the frequency of my higher self where there is no time and space. I was already feeling what could happen. And I got that in my body, translated by bad feeling, that after I translated, you are lazy, the negative mental, who took that. But in the same time, during all these things with the hacking and all that, it was like a part of me were observing myself in this process. And it was a total letting go, surrender to what was right. Because if I had to lose this money, we never know why things are like that. Because I'm someone usually very present in what I do. And if I clicked like that, sure, I was tired, I was sleepy and all that, it was not by chance. And in fact, at that time, the higher self took already control and make me click, to oblige me to stay at home. And this was like the validation of the bad feeling I had, and to be able now more and more to listen to that. I already do. I'm very good at that. But to don't tell to me tales after. It's because you are lazy, or it's because you don't want to go in the city, or that. No, it was right. The feeling, the bad feeling, the non-desire to go to the city was right. And all this process really now make this even more obvious, more, and I got my money back. And the funny thing is that the invisible transaction, I got all the other ones, because from my bank account, from that bank account to my bank account, it took time, because they had to block, everything has been blocked. So, and they delete my old account. And after they did the transfer. So this took time. But like the funny thing is like the last transaction that is not done yet, that is done, will be done tomorrow, it's the invisible one. It's like it went on the other, from that, it went on the other side. It's like the first one that has been the alert, it's the last one, and this shows again that it's from the invisible. So it's like totally in circle, and it's really an amazing process. So maybe it's a little bit it seems a little bit disconnected, and maybe you wonder what I'm speaking about, because it's like, but it's the marvelous is here. It's marvelous when you think about that. It's like, wow. And I must say that as I work more and more on the breath, I have more and more messages, inspiration that I already had before, but this is even more now. It's like, I cannot say non-stop, but almost. It's very, very interesting. I have answers, I have things that comes to my mind. I'm directed to do something on my computer and I have an answer for something else that I was wondering, like by chance. It's for that I encourage you to follow that flow. When you have a question, go maybe online, is what I said all the time. Go online and check it out. And one link gonna send you to another one, and maybe you're gonna have an answer that you were wondering about something, and you're gonna have the answer by this totally, different path that it doesn't seem connected, but it is connected. So I wanted to share this with you because it's this process. How can we know? How do we recognize when it's an alert, when it's like a message to protect us or to make us taking this or this or this direction of this choice, and when it's our mental, when it's a story that we tell to us. I think the most important thing, it's when it comes, it's to feel, to be with the feeling about, is it pleasant or not? Because sometimes it can be the contrary. Sometimes you can be happy at an idea of something, and you have these negative things they're going to say that want to castrate you and going to say, wow, but you are crazy to do this thing. But inside you were so happy at the idea to do it, So it can be in the other way. It can be like something they're going to impeach you to do what made you happy to do at the level of your soul, because the feeling we have, feelings, it's a direct connection to the soul. So it's also that, and maybe you will not do something that was making you happy at the idea of doing it because your negative mental came and said, no, you cannot do that. No, it's so stupid. Or you are crazy, and it's that. So it goes in both directions. It can be a very happy feeling and you shut down that. Or it can be a very negative feeling like I had, and you shut down it, saying that you are crazy, it's because you are lazy, it's because, so it's that. So it's very, very interesting. It's obliged, in fact, it obliged to be very in the present moment and to be with the first feeling we got, because this is always right. It's always right. You don't want to go somewhere, finally you go, or you go to please someone, or you go because you feel obliged to, and you don't want to look like someone who doesn't keep engagement or things like that, and something happen, and you say, oh, I knew it, I didn't want to do that, and this is when it's negative. So imagine when it's positive and you don't do it because you squeeze yourself. So it's very, very interesting phenomenon, and all these little details. Now there is absolutely no doubt that it was a protection. It's really amazing, isn't it? So I hope it was not too confusing, because it's so many things, so many details, and even more that I forgot since more than a week now, but it's quite fascinating, and there are more to come. So I wish you a very good night or a very good day, and next time with another adventure. Bye bye.